What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Forward Progress. It's a Thursday night football breakdown between the Bucs and the Falcons presented by Fanduel. I'm Jason Cooper here, joined alongside by Rob Pizzola. I'm taking the host chair today. Rob will be my guest. Taking a look at this game right now, the market's open at around 2.5 towards the Falcons. It's been bet down a little bit towards that 1.5 range. Similarly to the total, opened up at a 43, bet up towards a 43.5 right now on FanDuel. We're sitting at a minus 1.5 for the Atlanta Falcons, minus 115. Total sitting at 43.5, even minus 110 on both sides. Divisional matchup here, Rob, on Thursday night. Going to be a fun one on the watch along. So give us a breakdown for this game.
Yeah, I don't have a strong opinion on the game. I understand the movement towards Tampa Bay. I don't know if it's recency bias, but definitely Tampa Bay's looked like the better of the two teams recently. We do have to remember this Bucs team did get blown out by Bo Nix and the Denver Broncos. So it's not all roses for Tampa Bay. And there's some upside coming towards the Atlanta Falcons here in the return of Caleb McGarry at right tackle. And if we just compare these two teams on paper, Tampa Bay's coming into this game pretty beat up relative to Atlanta, right? We look at the Falcons. They've lost Jalen McMillan at receiver, Trey Palmer, so they're down wide receiver 3 and wide receiver 4. They're still missing Luke Goedeke, their right tackle, and that's been an issue for them this year. Kalijah Cansey's out on the defensive line. Antoine Winfield is out in the secondary, whereas Atlanta, like I mentioned, they come into this game, okay, yeah, some issues on the offensive line with Drew Dahlman out at center, but Caleb McGarry set to go in this one. Bijan Robinson, who was on the injury report earlier this week, set to go. So it's a really interesting game. I can't help but think that the perception of these teams has switched maybe a little bit too much, but I look at Atlanta and I see a real problem on defense in terms of generating pressure, generating sacks, splash plays. It just really hasn't been a good defense this year. And you look at what Baker Mayfield's done with that Tampa Bay offense, pretty consistent. Mike Evans is going to have to deal with A.J. Terrell a lot in this game, but Chris Godwin is going to, I mean, you look at the Atlanta covering slot receivers this year, it's been a real problem. So there's paths to success for the Tampa Bay offense. Atlanta's defense has been one of the worst in terms of success rate and EPA per play at stopping the run this year. There are paths to success. It's whether or not you get that consistency from Tampa Bay that we sometimes desire. On the other side of things with Atlanta, Kirk Cousins doesn't look great. You got to give him a pass for last week, starting center, starting right tackle out. Like I mentioned, you get the right tackle back. But overall, it's just a very vanilla offense. It seems like they can't put consistent drives together. And you look at Kirk this year when he's been blitzed, he's got a 36% success rate on 36 plays where he's been blitzed. That's one of the staples of the Todd Bowles defense is sending pressure. The only quarterbacks that are worse against the blitz are Deshaun Watson, Will Levis, and Bryce Young this year. So that's going to be a challenge. And whether or not they can get their running game going with Vita Vea on the field, they've been a top 10 success rate team, the Buccaneers, in defending the run with Vita Vea on the field this year. So it's really challenging to put all these things together. My number in the game is right around where we are at the market right now. Kind of like these teams are even. You give Atlanta your home field advantage, and that's where we're at. I kind of have a look towards the under in this game. If I was suggesting one thing on major market side or total, it would be the under, just because I think Atlanta is going to really, make this simple against Todd Bowles, get the ball out of Kirk's hands quickly, try to run the ball effectively. That's how I see the Falcons playing it offensively. I also think Tampa Bay is going to try to run the ball on this Atlanta defense that struggled to stop the run this year, especially since they're down weapons at receiver. So overall, really tough game to handicap. Very, very slight lean towards the under in the game, but full disclosure, I've not bet anything on it myself.
Yeah, and it's ironic coming into, I guess, this season. These are two offenses in my mind that I kind of had flipped. I expected a lot more from this Atlanta Falcons offense. Haven't seen much. And then the Bucs offense, didn't really know what was going to happen when Canales left, and they haven't missed a beat. So it's going to be interesting to see if the Falcons can kind of bounce back against a defense that's been anemic but is now slowly getting healthier. And then if the Buccaneers can continue their I don't want to call it domination, but their strong play on offense. Let's flip over and talk some props here, Rob. Is there a prop look you like for this game. I can lead with this one here. The first one I want to go with, and I'm just using the BetStamp Pro Tool here to find what's pretty much good in market. There's one thing that I found right now. It's Bucky Irving over 9.5 rush attempts. You can find that at FanDuel at -108. Best in market. So if you're looking to kind of back the momentum from Bucky Irving from previous weeks, him getting the ball a lot, not over 9.5 -108 available at FanDuel. Then another one here. This is just a look that I personally like. It's not the best price in market, second best price in market. Sterling Shepard anytime touchdown plus 500. Best price is plus 505. So just about best price in market here. I mean, we've seen McMillan out confirmed here. Trey Palmer also out. So Sterling Shepard might be that third wide receiver who's going to be on the field a ton for this team. They like to throw the ball. Could be an interesting dart throw for an anytime touchdown. Rob,
Yeah.
any props you like?
I'll pick up right there where you left off. So I like to bet anytime touchdown scores in games where you're seeing, I don't even want to say significant injuries because I don't think these are significant, but maybe cluster injuries at a position. So with Palmer and McMillan out for Tampa Bay, we don't really know how the Bucs are going to run their offense, and sometimes you get really good prices on certain people within the game. So you've identified Sterling Shepard. Sterling Shepard is now roughly in the 5-1 range. I prefer to go deeper than that. So for me, there's a couple of guys on the Bucs offense that stand out. They're both priced at 12-1 or higher for an anytime touchdown. One of them is Cameron Johnson. I'm not even convinced that Sterling Shepard is going to get all the run over Cameron Johnson at receiver, but I like Cameron Johnson in the 12-1 range just because he'll be on the field in 4 wide receiver sets. And on top of that, I'm not sure Shepard has stolen that wide receiver 3 role. The second guy for me is Payne Durham, who's the backup tight end to Cade Otton. They have a few on the roster. They also have Cochleft, but Payne Durham to me is the guy where if they run two tight end sets, especially down in the red zone, that he could be the guy that gets those targets. So these are flyers. They're darts. But every now and then we do hit these. And at these prices, with a couple of wide receivers out of the mix for the Buccaneers, I like those as anytime touchdown scorer props.
Yeah, no, those are great. And if you were to listen to anyone for anytime touchdown scorer props, if I were to listen to anyone on anytime touchdown scorer props, I would definitely listen to you over myself. Before we get into our SGP here, football is in full swing, and there's no better place to get into the NFL action than FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Because right now, new customers can kick off the season with $200 in bonus bets. Just place any $5 bet, and you'll get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed. You can use your bets on spreads, props, live bets, the to catch a pass market, which we've been loving on our watch-alongs, over-unders, and so much more. We love FanDuel with their extensive prop menu, their lightning quick payouts, and they're just good product all around. Just visit FanDuel.com/forward-progress to download America's #1 sportsbook. That's FanDuel.com/forward-progress. Must be 21 plus and present in select states. For Kansas, in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino, or 18 plus and present in DC. First online real money wager only. $5 deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expires 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit fanduel.com/RG. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 1-800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts or call 1-8778 Hope NY or text Hope NY in New York. All right, Rob, let's dive into it. It's SGP time. So why don't you walk us through what you like for this game?
Yeah, I like to build a story in a game and make my bets based off of that. I think oftentimes people build their SGPs and they pick just a bunch of random props that they like and they throw them all together, but they don't really tell a story is the problem. The issue I'm having with this game is I don't know what the story is going to be. I wanted to originally go with like the Kirk Cousins shits his pants in primetime story, but it's not really true. Like he's actually had a lot of good primetime performances in recent years, so I don't want to build that narrative. Instead, I'm going to build the narrative of primetime game, divisional game, short week. both teams try to run the ball effectively on the other team, have some success, but bog down eventually in the red zone type of game. So I'm going to go with an alternate under of 44.5 points. So I'm going through the key number of 44 just for a little bit of, little bit of cushion there. Then I'm going to go Bucky Irving, 60 plus rush yards. Bucky Irving is an explosive player. He is much better than Rachaad White. The coaching staff is really trying to split carries with the two right now. At some point or another, I think Bucky Irving will just take over because of his explosiveness. But 60 plus to me is very much in range against this Falcons defense that has struggled to stop the run this year and is also without Troy Anderson in their linebacking core as well. One injury we didn't talk about earlier. And then finally, we know Bijan Robinson enters the game with a hamstring injury. He got cleared. He's going to play, but it's a short week, hamstring injury. I wouldn't really be looking to a lot of Bijan stuff. Instead, I'm going to play Tyler Algier over or alternate rush yards of 50 plus. So we're going a parlay of alternate under 44.5, Bucky Irving 60 plus, Tyler Algier 50 plus. And that's just predicated on the fact that I think he'll get a little bit more usage with Bijan Robinson nursing the hamstring injury. That's going to pay roughly 15 to 1. If you have any sort of profit boost tokens, you can use that as well. Bring this up to 20 to 1 or higher. But I think that's a good story for a game that ends up being low scoring in prime time.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's a 50% profit boost token at Fanduel right now for an SGP for this Thursday night football game. So, I mean, if you're not planning to bet a lot on it, 15 to 1, throw a profit boost token on that. And you get odds that are a little bit better than 15 to 1. So, anyways.
Who doesn't want that? Who doesn't want to boost their odds? I don't get it. Yeah.
Exactly. Well, that wraps it up for us here today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Reminder, if you made it this far, and you're part of the 60% that's not subscribed to the channel, what are you doing? You like our content, so you just might as well hit that subscribe button. So if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. And if you're already subscribed to this channel and you love this content, you know what to do. Smash that like button. You can find us back here live tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern. Myself and Rob will be going live for the Bucks Falcons primetime game. We'll be live at 8 p.m. previewing the game, firing off some pregame bets, and we'll be betting and sweating our way throughout the entire game with some special guests. So if you're interested in that, make sure you check out this channel tonight at 8 p.m. For myself, for Rob Pizzola, this has been a Thursday night football preview presented by FanDuel. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll see you in the next one.